Finally! I have a capture card, and I can think of no better way to break it in than with the Switch remake of Link's Awakening. It feels like only yesterday I was absolutely losing my mind over the reveal for this game.
Now, check this out.
In case I didn't make it clear in my last video, Link's Awakening is very special to me, and I'm elated that Nintendo chose to lavish this weird little classic with so much attention. Considering that I'm going to talk about a remake of a 26-year-old game from a 33-year-old franchise, I feel some explanation is necessary. After all, not everyone has experienced a Zelda game before. Heck, some people weren't even alive when Zelda was new. Wild, huh? The Legend of Zelda is an action-adventure game series with fantasy trappings. Most of the games task players with exploring both vast outdoor environments and small but secret-laden dungeons. Throughout their journeys, players acquire several items, gadgets, and artifacts which allow them to live longer, travel farther, and fight harder. Zelda games come in 3 distinct flavors: overhead, 3D, and...
So I missed!
The original Link's Awakening on Game Boy is the 4th game of the series. Whether intentionally or not, it heralded a shift in Zelda game design which would remain until 2017's Breath of the Wild. Story beats, signposting, and item-based gating all became more prevalent in subsequent games, encouraging players to follow a specific progression. Exploration still rewarded the curious, but the paths to the final encounter became much more directed. Because of its place in Zelda game design history, Link's Awakening for Switch makes an excellent first Zelda game. Player assistance is abundant, from helpful key characters to unlockable hints within dungeons. Besides guiding the lost, they also enable players to quickly regain their bearings after stints away from the game. This, combined with updates to the original's fast travel system, honor Link's Awakening's legacy as a smartly designed portable game, a trait made all the more important thanks to Switch's switchiness. Exploration, however, isn't entirely railroaded either, unlike, say, the Zelda game with actual railroads. Whereas many modern Zelda games corral players into distinct zones, Link's Awakening still has much of the open environmental design of older Zelda games. The remake further enhances this by removing most of the screen-by-screen scrolling of the original, improving the cohesiveness of Koholint's geography. And what beautiful geography it is! Nintendo games have sported several adorable aesthetics before, but this plastic playground really takes the cake. Nearly every surface shines with convincing artificiality, and chunky shapes suggest injection-molded origins. Koholint's inhabitants are suitably toy-like in their designs, too, recalling Fisher-Price's Little People line. The Link amiibo simply isn't enough. I want to have this whole world on my table. Or at the very least, I'll take a squeaky Octorok. Sadly, this Toyland does take a toll on the Switch. Yes, I'm talking about the frame rate, and yes, it does bother me. I know plenty of people are either fine with it or don't notice it, but it is there, and prospective players should be aware of it if they aren't already. It's anyone's guess as to whether or not a new patch or new hardware can fix the problem. Right now, however, the frame rate hitches do break Link's Awakening's otherwise convincing depiction of a living diorama. At least the soundtrack helps smooth things over. Real instruments, especially woodwinds, grant the original compositions the texture and range that the Game Boy sound system could only hint at. Props are still paid to the old gray brick though, through occasional sampling, and surprisingly it often works very well. Overall, tracks are filled with youthful energy, playfulness, and of course, mystery. There are plenty of other changes in this version of Link's Awakening which will please fans of the original. Besides the expected improvements to the controls and the user interface, a heap of extra collectibles was added. Some of these may only be obtained in the newly expanded minigames. Yes, the crane now has physics. Hello, police? I'd like to report a robbery. The overall boss difficulty has slightly increased, while the difficulty curve has smoothed. Because the game is still among the easier Zelda games, the inclusions of Hero Mode and the option to ignore heart containers are very welcome. I look forward to doing a 3-heart Hero Mode run sometime. The Color Dungeon from Link's Awakening DX is back, which is nice. The game's other big addition, the Camera Shop, didn't make the cut, but its best moments were preserved. This version of Link's Awakening does have one entirely new feature, Dampé's Shack. Here, players may construct their own dungeons using rooms they've already explored. Zelda Maker it ain't, but it's not supposed to be. Sure, players can share dungeons with one another, but only through Amiibo, not online. The main purpose of Dampé's Shack is to offer dungeon construction challenges. These can be as simple as ensuring that every space is filled, or as complex as using many specific room types in specific locations. I'm probably in the minority here, but I think this is very clever. I mean, come on! It's problem solving with Zelda dungeons! If only every challenge in life could be satisfied by a room with a mold worm. With the design fit for newcomers and additions aplenty for veterans, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is as wonderful now as it was in 1993. Nintendo has, for the 5th time, delivered a rebuilt Zelda experience which improves upon its source material in almost every way. For Link's Awakening to receive a level of treatment similar to, if not greater than, console Zelda games is a testament to its important place in Zelda history. Link's Awakening deserves to be experienced by as many people as possible, and this Switch release is the definitive way to do so.